Hey, konnichiwa minasan, it's Gray from Wakizashi Teahouse over in Japan. How are you doing? Are you good? Are you genki? Are you ready for some Spidey action? Are you ready for it? Well, I'll tell you what, you might be left disappointed. I have a review of the new issue of Ultimate Spider-Man issue 1. It came out today, Wednesday, January the 10th, 2024. Happy New Year, by the way. Priced at $5.99. It's written by Jonathan Hickman and it's got art by Marco Checchetto, or Checchetto, as I've been told. Is it Checchetto? I don't know. One thing to say about this, okay? First of all, this comic cured my insomnia. Yes, there we go. What a shocker. So, I want to give my initial reaction and an honest review of a very, very highly anticipated comic book for me, and I'm sure for many people out there. Let me also state for the record that I was so looking forward to this. I really was, and I was hoping it was going to be awesome. I'd hoping that we'd get a decent Spider-Man story for a change. I gave up on Zeb Wells' not amazing Spider-Man sometime last year. I just couldn't take it. I was all wrecked out, if you know what I mean. So, how is Ultimate Spider-Man Issue 1? Now, before I go on, let me just point out there will be some spoilers. It can't be helped because I'm going to talk about characters that are alive in this universe and maybe characters that are dead. So, just to let you know that, this does follow on from Ultimate Invasion Issue 1. So, if you haven't read that, what can I say? If you haven't read that, does this make sense? That's a good question. I guess you can jump in here right from the start with no knowledge of the past and you can maybe enjoy this issue, enjoy this single story if you don't mind lots and lots of dialogue. Okay, just want to make that warning there. And I'm going to be reading from a review I've been typing out, so please excuse my eyes from wandering at times. But yeah, here we go.
Job's a good one.
Is Ultimate Spider-Man worth the hype? Short answer, I found it pretty boring, with a serious lack of Spider-Man action. There's a lot of talking in this issue. I mean, a lot. We're talking pages and pages of it. Lots of word balloons, dialogue balloons, what you want to call them. But there still are some good visual pages, and it does look amazing. It does look good. It's Marco Checchetto. I'm saying Checchetto. So there we go. At least we've got that. But you get the feeling at times like Jonathan Hickman's doing the old, why use one dialogue balloon when 3 will do? And the majority of the talking is between characters that are not Peter Parker. Poor Peter Parker. Sure, it's nice to spend time with, spoiler warning, Ben Parker and J. Jonah Jameson, but I'm here for Peter. I'm sure you are too. And MJ. Now, there's nothing wrong with setup when it's done well. There's nothing wrong with good world building. But I'm telling you, some of these pages were a struggle to get through. Now, this is my own personal subjective opinion, okay? If you love this comic book, that's great. But I tell you, it's never a good sign when you find yourself flipping ahead to see how many pages are still to go. And, is anything going to actually happen? Any action? There is so little action or excitement in this comic until the last few pages. And by then, I feel like it's almost too late to save it. But looking at this through positive spectacles, it hopefully means that the next issue, issue 2, will be a lot better. I'm hopeful, and I'm still going to check it out. I'm still here. I'm here for the ride. I always give comics at least 3 issues, 3 to 5. Give them a fair shot. But let me just point out some of my criticisms, and one is this. The Peter Parker of this Ultimate Universe. He's dull, he's bland, he's forgettable. I've no idea how he managed to land or marry MJ, nor have 2 kids with her. That's right, he's married with 2 children, so at least there's that. That is nice to see. But talk about a lack of charisma. I mean, yeah, it's only the first issue, but the way he's written, I don't know, it kind of left me wondering who this is. Yes, I know it's another universe Peter Parker. At one point, for example, he tells his uncle, good old Uncle Ben, that he thinks MJ deserves better than me. But it's not clear why he's saying this to him. Because he's got low self-esteem? He's got no confidence? Is that why? Is he cheating on MJ, which we don't know about? Why would he say that? But maybe that's what Jonathan Hickman was going for, this kind of poor Peter Parker, low self-esteem version of him. But he just doesn't feel right. Anyway, this could be a minor nitpick, but that was my take on the Peter Parker in this first issue. Peter kind of drifts through this story like an invisible man. You feel like he ain't quite there. Now, you could argue that this is because, he didn't become Spider-Man in this universe when he should have done. And of course, Jonathan Hickman, he's a good writer, and he does address that in this issue. But there's obviously something missing in his life. You can get that. I don't know, just the words that he was using, the way he spoke, the way he talked to certain people. He was just kind of like bumbling through the issue, like, a real lack of presence, as I said, lack of charisma. So addressing that, if you think about it, if this version of Peter becomes Spider-Man, which is of course what this series is going to be about, what kind of hero will he be? A Spidey beta? Beta web Petey? Yes, I know, before you jump on me, I know the Peter Parker who's been written by Stan Lee from the beginning, right from the start. Steve Ditko was drawing it. He's not the most confident, self-expressive, charisma emitting person. He's not, but he was never like somebody who's just bland and forgettable. And that is, I think, what's lacking here with this first issue. But yeah, as you can say, you might argue these are minor criticisms, but for me, I was disappointed. Now, I did read this late at night when I got my copy, and I was kind of like, wow, this is putting me to sleep. Now, I'll give you some examples. I'm not going to do my usual story summary. I'm just going to show a few pages, show you some of the art, talk about, some of the dialogue balloons, which felt like unnecessary to me. But anyway, and I won't spoil important points of the issue. So, if you want to, if you're still here, if I've not lost you, please keep watching, and here we go. Okay, let me give you the intro to the issue. Here we go. 20 years ago, the Maker prevented a radioactive spider from biting a young Peter Parker. He likewise prevented the creation of any other superheroes and formed a secret council to rule the world from the shadows. When Tony Stark learned the dark history of his universe, he sought to undo it, prompting the Maker's Council to attack Manhattan, killing thousands, and frame Stark for it. Peter Parker has lived his life unaware of the Maker's Council or the truth behind the spider, but that is about to change. So I've shown you some of these images before. This is Peter Parker in this universe with his beard and glasses, not getting any younger. As you can see, the art by Chichetto is really good. It's nice. It's a shame he doesn't get a lot of action to draw. It's a lot of drama scenes, a lot of talking scenes, a lot of talking heads. But here we go. Look at this. We meet Peter Parker's kids, and they're both gingers, yes! Richard and May. And then at last, this is what you've been waiting for. I've been waiting so long to see this. Not just MJ looking amazing, but, and it's in a smaller panel unfortunately, MJ and Peter hugging. Come on, how long have we been waiting for that? Let me skip ahead a little bit to Peter going to work, and we see, or we hear somebody screaming the name Parker. Parker! It can only be Jonah himself, Jonah Jameson. There he is. Morning, boss. How are you? No time for chit-chat. Parker! He's not actually screaming at Peter for once. He's screaming at, can you guess who? Ben Parker, managing editor. Now, I realise I was complaining a little bit about the overuse of dialogue scenes, especially between Jonah and Ben Parker, but Hickman, to be fair, does build up a good kind of relationship between them. There is some good dialogue. It's not poorly written. I never said that. I just felt there was a severe lacking of Peter in this issue. There should have been more of that. But yeah, it's good to see Ben. It's good to see the interaction between Jonah and him. Skip ahead again a few pages. You can see some of the outdoor shots here looking really good. Lovely scenes of New York. But as you can see there, that bottom left panel, a lot of dialogue here. You could cut maybe most of that out, just have simpler answers. Again, on the next page here, the top 3 panels here, Ben is saying so much. He could have said it so much easier with just a few words, but there we go. Jonathan Hickman, never one to hold back on the word count. Again, I'll skip ahead to avoid spoilers. There's probably too much in this, but just give you an example of there are some good visual scenes here. Very minimal dialogue on this page. You can see something's going on at the Daily Bugle. We see later on Ben and Jonah out in a bar. They're out drinking, shooting the shit. Again, it's good character build up. It's good development, but where is Peter Parker? Where is Spider-Man? That's what I want to know. Good to see Jonah laughing though. And just let me finish up on here. Again, I'm not going to spoil anything. Just look at these images of Peter. Does that look like the Peter Parker that you want to see, really? He looks down. He looks depressed. He's like shriveling up. He's trying to hide almost. This is the one I was talking about earlier where he's talking about MJ. Ben asks him, are you and MJ okay? We're great. She's great. I think she deserves better than me. Like, just don't say that, man. What are you talking about? Okay, so I'll stop the story summary, well, the little story highlights here, and just say thanks so much for watching this far. If I had to give this a score, let's see. It's not going to be a low score. I say it's not a really bad issue. I just thought it was a bit boring at times. It did kind of put me to sleep last night a little bit. I was looking forward to it so much. I was hoping for more Spider-Man, more action, more excitement, but it really is all set up. So I'm going to give this a 6 out of 10. Well, if you stuck with me this far, I really, really appreciate it. Thank you for watching to the end. Just leave me to say, as always, thanks so much for watching. Do drop a comment. Let me know what you think about this issue. Let me know what you think about my review. Like, you can kill me in the comments if you want, no problem. Just do let me know what you think and point out what I was wrong about. I'd love to hear from you. Okay, this has been Gray from Wakizashi's Teahouse, signing off for the night here, trying to get this review out, hopefully, before Wednesday morning, States time, and I hope to see you in a future video. Mata ne!